All right, we are back with another pick'em video. It is Wednesday, October 22nd. We have a bunch of games, whole bunch of plays to talk about. In this one, probably going to talk 4 or 5 official video picks, and then we will maybe even talk about some leans. So hopefully a whole bunch of value for you guys in this video. We're going to break down the video picks from yesterday, not break them down, just go over them. We went 2-1, so not bad on the first day of the NBA, and we only had 2 games to choose from. So definitely not some bad reads, but we'll break those down real quick. And yeah, then we'll get you guys on your way. There's also a bunch of promos. I'll probably point out a few promos to take advantage of. A lot of platforms out there are giving free squares or discounts and things like that. That is really, really important to take advantage of. If you're just a person that likes to bet for entertainment, maybe you don't attack those, but I always like to tell you guys when there is promos happening. And if you're more of someone that likes to profit a little bit, enjoying sports and try to profit along the way and with smart bets, definitely you want to take advantage of those, be on as many books, platforms as you can. Like I always say, it's just a good idea if you want to be profitable doing this stuff. So that's what we're gonna do for this video. If you guys enjoyed the last video or enjoy this video, go ahead and leave it a like. It tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. Beginning of the season, I'm just starting to upload again, so any like helps, any comment helps to push the video out. And yeah, I'm mumbling, bumbling on at this point. So let's actually hop into some plays so this video is not too long. So as I mentioned, real quick recap of yesterday's video picks. Not too bad. We'll take the profitable day to start the NBA season. Not too much to go off of. We'll take those good reads. Draymond Green was the easiest cash. He had 6 rebounds very early in that second quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, needed overtime to get these steals, but hey, we'll take that. And then Amin Thompson, again, double overtime game in that OKC Thunder game or OKC Rockets game. And that was a really fun game to watch. If you guys didn't watch that, go back, watch the highlights. It was a classic to start the year. But Amin Thompson cramped up in overtime, so he scored 18 points. He didn't even need overtime. The under 15.5, was thinking that we'd see a whole lot of scoring from other guys, and we did. This is a very, very high scoring game. And Amin Thompson can go ice cold, and then he'll score 6 points in a row in like a minute. And that's kind of what he did today. So unfortunate under misses there, but the 2 overs, the ones that are easier to root for, pretty good cashes. Again, the Shai one, a little bit of a sweat there, but it will take the win. So we'll start off the season in the green, which we always love to see, and we're going to be tracking this throughout the entire year. So now moving over to Props Madness to actually start breaking down some plays. I know a little bit of a longer intro, but I do like to be transparent going over our plays each and every video. I'll try to get more efficient as the season goes on, so these videos aren't super long. I know I tend to ramble a lot. But Props Madness, you're going to see me use this all throughout the year. It's an awesome tool. Links in the description down below. If you're interested in any of the tools I'm using, any of the platforms I'm betting on, I have a link that lets them know that I sent you there. Whenever you use my link, it lets them know, again, I sent you there, and I get a little kickback my way. So it's a great way to support the channel using the links in the description. But Props Madness is awesome. Definitely check them out. Let's talk about the first player. And the first play is going to be a nice over. It's going to be a guy that maybe some of you are going to be skeptical about, but I think he's going to have a good year. I think the Blazers could be a weirdly good team, a weirdly scrappy team with the changes they made. Drew Holiday now coming in, Anthony Simons is gone. So they got a big roster reconstruction, and we saw guys like Sharp. You can see what he did at the end of last year, Denny Advia. A lot of these guys are younger dudes that really haven't been in this role before, and they're going to have a lot of usage, and his line's at 19.5 points. And I'm looking at the over here, even in a tougher matchup going up against the Wolves here. So first game of the season, I like what Shaedon Sharpe has done in the preseason. He's been getting a lot of burn, which I like to see. It makes me expect he's going to be a big part of this team. And he's already scored 20 points, 18 points, and 17 points. I think these minutes are going to be around the 35-plus mark. And again, Anthony Simons is not on this team anymore. He was the leading scorer for this squad. And Shaedon Sharpe, Denny Advia, I think those are going to be the main 2 guys for this team going in this year. I think they're going to get a whole lot of run, and we're going to see similar types of things like these performances we were getting near the end of the year. So Shaedon Sharpe, I'm taking a 19.5 line over at minus 125 on BetMGM. And let's take a look at, we can, mess around with these filters over on Props Madness and see what he did without Anthony Simons last year. We can take him out of the equation. These are the games without Anthony Simons. I don't really have to say much else right here. He went over this line in 9 of 10 games without Anthony Simons. A couple other guys come into the squad. It's not like Simons is disappearing and no one else came in. But in terms of volume scores, he's gone. And now, Sharpe and Denny are going to be the main 2 guys. If you look at the way these guys score, it's hard to look at the Props Madness stuff this early in the season just because all of this is based off last year. But we know the Minnesota Timberwolves are a pretty good squad. But even so, they kind of are lacking against transition. They're more of a middle-of-the-road team, and pick-and-roll ball handling, which they ranked 24th last year. those are his main two, appetites for scoring. And it's good to see that even last year when they were a pretty good defensive squad, they were not like top tier in the way that he scores. So that's a good, data point to look at for a guy like Sharp to be able to score. And again, taking that as a grain of salt because those are last year's stats, but the Minnesota Timberwolves looking like a relatively similar team as they were last year. So yeah, really liking Shaedon Sharp. I think he's going to be a bigger name in the NBA this season. I think a lot of people are going to see this 19.5 line and think it's way too high, but I actually think it might be a little bit too low here. I could see 20 plus from Shaedon Sharp very, very easily. You could also just look at games he sees a whole lot of time in the court. I think we're going to see 35-ish minutes, maybe even more, barring any sort of blowout. I think this is a 3.5 point spread. Portland could be a very chippy team. We could see a nice game here. So barring a blowout, obviously blowouts can happen in the NBA all the time and they ruin a lot of plays, but you can't think about every game going to be a blowout. I think this is going to be a competitive game. We can see the games that he's seeing, 30 plus minutes, let's say 30 to 40 minutes. You can see the hit rate, obviously, very good, even when Simons is in the equation. But obviously the main thing is Simons is off this team. Denny's going to be here, so we can even put games in with Denny. Still a 7 of 8 hit rate. So the use is going to be there through the roof, and I think they're looking at this guy who has a lot of talent, and 19.5, again, if you're someone that's maybe more of a novice NBA fan, seems a lot really high for a guy like Shaedon Sharp, but I think it's going to be too low for us. I'm hammering the over here at 19.5. And then to really drive home this point, looking at these games with Denny and without Simons, you can see his usage rate is literally crazy. 30%, 38%, 27%, 28%, very much around 30% usage, which is very, very high. And you can see the shot volume is also very good. 23, 25, 22, 18, 16, 21, 23. He's shooting a whole bunch of times, and that was very true for the preseason as well. Even in the games he's seeing 27, 26 minutes, the game he got 35 minutes, he's shooting a whole bunch. He gets shots up quick, so he's a high volume kind of guy, and really, really like to see his volume, his usage, and we could see that going into this season. So really like Sharp here at 19.5. I think it's a sneaky pick that maybe not a whole lot of people will be on, but we'll see. I'm filming this pretty early, so I think we're maybe getting some early value here at 19.5 for him. Moving to the next play here, if you know my channel, you know I'm not just going to sit here and go to stars and go to their points lines over and under, whatever it might be. I'm finding the best plays on the board that I can get, and I don't care what it is. So next play here, Jalen Brunson, under 3.5 rebounds. This is at minus 120 on BetMGM right now, and I think that's pretty solid value. You can see it's a 41% hit rate in the last however many games this is, 29 games. But I'm going to extend this for the entire year because a lot of these games in the playoffs, he's playing really extensive minutes because in the playoffs, you're going to play your guys as much as you can. In the regular season and with a new coach here, he doesn't have Thibodeau running him into the ground anymore. I think we see Brunson around 36 minutes or so, and we can extend this for the entire season, and we can see the hit rate drops to all the way to 31.3%. So 3.5 rebounds, pretty good hit rate on the under just in general, and we're not paying too much juice here. It's a pretty normal line at minus 120. And I know the first thing you guys are probably thinking is you're crazy because Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson are both out of this game. Jalen Brunson's going to have a massive uptake in rebound potential. I don't fully see it that way because I think Jalen Brunson's a small guard. I don't think that. I know that. And anyone that's going to be out of the lineup, a big man's going to fill in. Guerschon Yabusele is going to come in. Karl-Anthony Towns currently questionable, but I assume he's going to play. This is a 1.5 point spread. That's thinking he's probably going to play this game. He should be ready to go. He's had an entire offseason to rest and get ready. So I think he's going to be out there. So just so those big guys are going to be out of the lineup, other big guys are going to come in. That doesn't mean to me that Jalen Brunson's actually going to start coming in and crashing the boards. He's always going to be looking for an outlet pass. He's always going to be looking in transition. And I also think with Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson out of the lineup, the Knicks defense is going to be hurt a little bit. That might equate to more, easier buckets for the Cleveland Cavaliers, less misses for them, less rebounding opportunity for the Knicks in general. So I'm seeing a 31% hit rate over the entire year at a minus 120 line. That's not that much juice in terms of the games that we're getting and the hit rate that we're getting. Also, we can see that Mitchell Robinson out of the lineup. This kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. It's actually a worse hit rate. 25.9% of the games he's staying under this. And then with both these guys out of the lineup, he's played 4 games last year. He stayed under in 3 of the 4 games. Yes, the one game, of course, is against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not like he destroyed this line. He crept over with 4. It was a massive blowout as well. So I like the numbers. I'm following the numbers here. Even with these big guys out, other big guys are going to fill the role. If their defense gets hurt, that's more easier buckets for the Cavs, less rebounding opportunity in general. So again, I'm just following the numbers on this one. It's a weird line, but I like what I'm seeing in terms of the potential for him to stay under at a minus 120 line. We're not paying too much juice here. So really, really tough matchup. The Cavs are a big team. They were number 1 in not allowing rebounds to point guards last year. So that's another great stat to look at. And he played those guys 3 times last year, stayed under in 3 of the 4 games. So everything kind of checking out for me for this Brunson line. If this was like a minus 150 line, I wouldn't be looking at it. But the fact that we're getting a normal payout, I'm going to be attacking that. So again, another one on BetMGM, minus 120, under 3.5 boards for Brunson. Moving to the next play, we're going to talk Kristaps Porzingis. I'm looking at a 24.5 PRA line. This is available pretty much anywhere around minus 120 value. Obviously, lines move all the time, but this is what we're looking at right now. 24.5 PRA, that counts points, rebounds, and assists, and this is a guy that can score 25 plus just in points alone on any given night. He's moving on to a new team, was on the Boston Celtics last year. We're going to look at his stats from last year, but I think he's going to be in a much bigger role here in the Atlanta. Coming off a end of the season that was horrible. He had some weird illness that no one knew about. I'm a Celtics fan, as you guys know, and I don't know what happened to the guy, but he had an entire offseason to recover. He seems to be up and ready. He's in good spirits. Says that he's 100%, and he's looked pretty good in preseason so far, even in the limited minutes. I think we're going to expect. I think we saw 28 minutes in a preseason game, so we can expect 28 plus minutes, I assume, from Porzingis in a regular season game, which I love to see, and that's what we're going to look at here when we're seeing 28, to 32 minutes from Kristaps Porzingis. If I can find my filters, right here. 28 to 32 minutes from Kristaps Porzingis. You can already see it looks pretty good. We're going to see a 93% hit rate, and that was when he was on the Boston Celtics. So again, moving into a much bigger role here on the Hawks, playing with a pass-first point guard. Trae Young can obviously score the ball too, but he's a guy that can average double-digit assists. I can see Porzingis going to the rim, going up against a team that allows a whole bunch of points in the paint. So I love to see that. And I think he can also gobble up some boards here. He played with Tatum, who was the best rebounder on the Celtics. Now he moves his team with, Jalen Johnson can grab some rebounds as well. But I think Porzingis is going to move into a role that he's going to be potentially the best rebounder of this team. We saw him go for 13 rebounds in that last preseason game where he got 28 minutes. He had 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 assists. He would absolutely crush this line. Obviously, take preseason with a grain of salt. But yeah, I'm loving to see these numbers. This is, again, when he was on the Celtics with Tatum, with Brown, with Derek White, all those different offensive weapons. The Hawks also have offensive weapons, but I think he's probably the number 2 scoring option. We'll see how Jalen Johnson develops into the season. But yeah, Porzingis can do this line with points alone. He pretty much did that in the preseason game. Now you add on the fact that he doesn't have Tatum rebounding next to him, and I think he could gobble up some boards. So I'm not going to think he's going to grab 5+ assists, but if he can do that, that's great. I think him and Trae Young should have a good connection throughout the entire year. And if Trae Young can get him lobbing to the basket, they get a good connection going. I can see a lot of buckets from him. He could stretch the floor as well, and a lot of guys can pass to him for that. So they're a nice big team. Jalen Johnson down there. What's the starting lineup projected for those guys tomorrow? Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, Risa Shea. Yeah, so he's a second-year guy they're moving into. Dyson Daniels, very defensive-minded guy that can set him up. So I'm moving into a spot that Porzingis, probably the second best player on this team, and he's looked healthy and ready to go. 24.5 PRA. Seems way too low to me. You can see the numbers when he's seen 28 to 32 minutes. That's kind of what I expect from him today in a weaker matchup against the Raptors. And I don't know what to say. I think this is a crush spot. I remember the last thing I was going to say. We can't get fancy with our filters yet, but he played these guys once last year, 29 PRA, again, while he was on the Celtics. Now he's on the Hawks, very offensive-minded team, very fast-paced team, whole lot of scoring potential. I like what I'm seeing. Moving to the next play here, we got Zaire Williams over 7.5 points. Totally weird line, but I do like his potential to score in bunches. I'm not sure exactly how many minutes he's going to get. Wish the projected lineups are out and the projected minutes, but RotoWire won't let me see that till tomorrow, and that's probably when they generate anyway. But yeah, 7.5 points just seems a little bit too low for a minus 105 line. And he's a guy that can come in and score off the bench for this team. The Nets are looking for, players all over the place. They don't have a very good squad. I don't know how many games they're going to win this year, so they're not going to, shy away from playing a lot of different guys. But I think Zaire Williams is going to come in. If he shoots well, if he plays well, he'll get a lot of minutes. I could probably expect anywhere between 18 and 28 minutes. That's probably my minutes projected for him. We saw him in preseason get 28 minutes a game, 28 minutes in one game. He had 20 points in that game, and then he also played like 18 minutes in another game. He's a high volume scorer, so I like this price. I like this price point, and I like what he was able to do last year. Cam Thomas was out a lot last year. Cam Johnson was out a whole lot last year. Obviously, Cam Johnson moving on from this team in the Michael Porter Jr. trade. This is the squad that projected is to start. Igor coming in to start for them. Cam Thomas, obviously a high-volume guy. Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., and Nick Claxton. There's not a whole lot of scoring on this team anyway, so a spark plug off the bench, a guy like Zaire Williams coming in and scoring off the bench, I do like to see that. again, over in 63% of games last year. We can see head-to-head, he played this team very, very well, was able to go over in 3 of the 4 games. Now, some people were out in these games, and he was able to get 33, 22, 32 minutes. This is the game that he saw 17, that he stayed under. That scares me just a tiny bit, but I think we're going to see 18 to 28 minutes. I don't know how to pinpoint it, but I think we're going to see somewhere between there, and it's going to depend on if he comes in that first stint. If he's playing well, maybe he's knocking down shots, I think he's going to get a little bit more run. I could see this line either absolutely crushing it or coming in and getting 2 points and not even coming close. But I like the potential for him to come in here and be a high volume scorer off the bench for this Nets team that's looking for offense and really anything that anyone can show him. So I like the potential here at a minus 105 line. This thing's not juiced really at all. And yeah, I like the potential here. So we can see the minutes as well. It's really the only thing we can look at this early in the season. If he's going to get anywhere between 18 and let's say 30 minutes, still over in 60% of games. So that gets rid of the games that he was playing 35 minutes when someone was injured. So yeah, I don't mind this at all. Head to head, that includes 1 game. So that's cool. 1 data point to look at. Still against the Hornets. They're not a very good team overall anyway. That's not like they're battling up against a really tough defensive squad. He was able to play really well against this team overall. They're mediocre pretty much everything last year. So I like this spot for Zaire. I like the price point was really what got me. And then seeing what he was able to do last year, seeing what he was able to do in the preseason. Yeah, I like Williams' upside. So I could keep diving into plays and talk about this all day, but I think I'm going to give 4 video picks in this one. If you guys get this to 100 likes, so go ahead and like the video. If you get to 100 likes, I'll go ahead and add another play in the pinned comment. If it somehow gets more than that, 200 likes, I'll add another pinned comment play. And just go on from there. I appreciate you guys liking the video. Again, I was away for a little bit, so when you guys like the video, it tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. And I think we're gonna have a nice profitable season. Great start to the season with the first day going 2-1, getting a little bit of profit there. Hopefully we have another winning day today. Don't go anywhere yet. Again, like the video, try to get to 100 likes, but I also want to give you guys a DFS parlay, a long shot parlay, probably a plus 500, maybe even more. I'm going to go ahead and make that right now and share it to you guys, and you guys can go ahead and potentially tail that as well. Again, all my plays I give out are in my Discord community. I really like the community aspect of a Discord. It's not just you guys paying me for my picks. I'm one of the cheapest in the industry. A lot of people have no community aspect, and they literally charge like $200 a month for them to give you your plays. But yeah, you guys get access to me. You get access to hopefully a fun Discord community. We've had that in the past year or two. And you also get access to all my slips. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing. Definitely check it out in the link in the description down below. So I just went ahead and cooked up a Dabble slip, but real quick, I totally forgot to mention, I'm giving away a free month of my Discord community, literally just by clicking the link in the description down below. There's 200 spots available. I think 90 have been used, so there's 110 available spots for that promo code to be used, and that's going to be expiring at the end of this week. So yeah, definitely take advantage of that. Literally the free month of my premium Discord for no strings attached. Just check us out. If you don't like us, go ahead and cancel it, but I think you will like us because it's a whole lot of fun in here. But here's a Dabble slip. If you're not on Dabble, this is a very, very, very exploitable book, and we're going to run through the math. We're getting 6x. This is a fixed payout system. We're getting 6x. We're getting plus 500 on this parlay, and let's run through the math and see why this is such a good platform to be on. And if you're not on Dabble, use my code in the link in the description down below. Sorry for all the plugs, but I have a code RICHDFS. There's also a link. It's probably easier for you guys to use. I get credit for your sign up, and I get a little bit of kickback my way. So might as well use my code. It helps me out, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, Dabble is really, really good to exploit. So let's see this line. Porzingis is one of the plays we talked about in today's video. We got it at minus 120, so I'm going to put that into our calculator here at minus 120. Jose Alvarado, oops, that's my Twitter page. Jose Alvarado under 3.5 assists. That's going to be a play in our parlay. Again, our 6x parlay, plus 500 parlay. We can go to assists over on the odds jam screen right here, and we can see Jose Alvarado is around minus 140 on very, very sharp hook, Pinnacle. Minus 140, minus 135. All these books pretty much have them at minus 140. So we can go into our calculator. We'll put in minus 140 Jose Alvarado, and we just need our last leg here. So go back to our slip. We have a Ivica Zubac over double-double, so pretty much to get a double-double here. And we'll go back to our odds jam screen. We'll go to Zubac. Sorry, I'm doing this. I don't know if you guys like this or not. Let me know in the comments down below. And we can see that he's around a minus 155 or so, let's say minus 150 to go over this line as well. I guess minus 158 is the average odds. We'll say minus 150 on this play. So minus 150 here for Zubac. And we're going to see this total odds should pay us out plus 423.81 on a normal book. We're going to get plus 423.81. We're getting plus 500 on this play. So this is a very, very, very plus EV play, and it's on an exploitable book that Dabble, gives us these odds. And I find these plays all the time. I give any Dabble slip I give you, we're getting a huge edge on that. That's how I'm a profitable sports bettor. That's the type of plays that I'm going to be sending out and what I always send out to my community. And you guys can go ahead and tail this. This is a very, very profitable book. Not sure how long it will last. Let me know if all the plays are gone by the time you guys watch this. But I did want to point out this is a very good book to be on. Links in the description down below. Again, sorry for all the plugs, but this is the type of stuff that I'm doing all day to get an edge and be a profitable sports bettor. So 3-man, 6x play out for you guys over on Dabble. So that's going to do it for me in this one. I really appreciate everyone watching. If you liked it, definitely go and leave the video a like. Again, if you guys get this video to 100 likes, I'll be adding another play in the pinned comment. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, because at the beginning of this video, I told you I would talk about all the promos that are happening, and I'm not going to do that. I kind of ran out of time here. So I'll do that on Twitter. So go follow me on Twitter, and I'll point out all the different promos and maybe even how I'm running all the promos. And again, if you want access to a cool community and also all of my plays, use the link in the description down below. I'm giving away a free month in my Discord. That's a month of all of my plays that I send out, and I send out a lot just by clicking the button and signing up. So that's limited to 200 users. 90 have already been used, so there's about 110 spots left. Might as well go ahead and use that. Dabble, I gave that Dabble slip out. If you're not on Dabble and you're not, maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to sign up for Dabble, it's just another book, definitely do it. They give you a free $25 just for signing up. You can tail the slip I gave you guys, and it's a very, very, very exploitable book. So might as well try it out. And again, use my code. That always helps me. I appreciate everyone watching. I'm getting tired. I'm going to get almost to that 3 a.m. point where the projected minutes on RotoWire are popping up. But yeah, you can probably look at my eyes. Whoa. I look crazy right now. Good luck with all your bets. I'll see you guys in the next one. I need to go to bed. Peace out.